Rodeo fans, saddle up for the Cinch World's Toughest Rodeo, presented by RM43, January 9th and 10th at Casey Center. Come early for autographs, pony rides, and more. Get tickets now at HighVTix.com. The buck starts here at the Cinch World's Toughest Rodeo. Yeah!
I'm Chris Williams. Join me weekly for the CW Pod on Iowa Everywhere, where I do a lot of sports business, the business of college sports, breaking down college football, and of course, intriguing interviews as well, weekly on Iowa Everywhere.
Murph and Andy talking sports and more exclusively on Iowa Everywhere. From the Channel Seed Studios, here are Keith Murphy and Andy Fales.
Should be a fun show today, but let's start it with a happy birthday. Happy belated 80th birthday to faithful listener, viewer, Doug. Happy birthday, Doug.
Happy birthday, Doug.
Yeah.
I haven't said that in a long time. I used to go to Doug Morey's birthday parties every year.
We're 2 days late, but hey, we remembered today. Mm-hmm. Happy birthday.
It counts.
Everybody told him happy birthday on Monday.
Yeah, we're the only ones telling him on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
This is more special, Doug. Wednesday. This is like Merry Christmas, December 27th. Cheers. Cheers.
Yeah, but that belated Christmas present is nice, right? It avoids the rush. It's a little special, stands out. Yeah. Maybe it happens to be that one thing that you didn't get, that you were still holding out a shred of hope for, and it delivers. I remember one year, that was my grandparents' Hungry Hippos. It was the one thing I didn't get that I had asked Santa for that. He blew me off there. But then, like, just in the 11th hour, my grandparents came to town, and I opened this package, and it was Hungry Hippos, and I have a picture of me just in utter joy.
So happy.
Hugging my grandmother. So happy. I was, how did you know that I wanted this? It was a Christmas miracle. Yeah. She had, my grandmother knew that. That's incredible. I mean, my grandfather spent his entire life thinking that all toys were made out of wood.
Yeah. Times changed, don't they?
Was not. Yeah.
Yeah, our kids were in that transformational era where they go from toys that are made of plastic and are not that expensive to wanting something electronic. And boy, does that up the price tag. And then you go from many gifts down to, okay, here's your one gift. Enjoy. And a pair of socks and some underwear. AD, we have some tickets to give away.
Yeah, we do. Bert Kreischer is going to be at the Casey Center tomorrow. Here's the catch. It's basically during the Iowa State men's game. So if you want these tickets, if you don't, I was thinking maybe some Hawkeye fans want to avoid that game. It could be a long night. If you want,
it's very negative. Tickets, very negative of you.
It is. A pair of tickets to see Bert Kreischer at Casey Center tomorrow night. Email Murph_Andy at IowaEverywhere.com. Murph_Andy, IowaEverywhere.com. I'll pick the first one to email us, and I'll shoot you the tickets this afternoon. So enjoy.
This dude better find a workout. Is the Casey Center going to be warm enough for him to go out there shirtless?
Guess we'll find out. He might be cutting glass.
Yeah, geez, no kidding. We'll know that he's cold. That's for sure. I imagine he's dealt with this before, and he probably plays north of Iowa, right? Iowa's not that far.
I would think so, but boy, that is a miserable forecast coming in. Wow. Guest House Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines sets the table for sports and more today. Coming up, Cyclone Decompress, Cyhawk Showdowns, plural, and Mr. Movie soundtracks, all presented by Guest House Tavern and Oyster. Nightly specials every Wednesday. You know it by now. It's Walleye Wednesday. Now high or low since the last show.
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
Tim Hawkins is the guy that runs Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax. He sent me a text message today kind of reminding me about the dangers of going in over your head on the old holiday spending. We all do that. Especially younger people, though, you can really get in over your head by putting yourself in debt here. Sometimes people keep that debt even a year later. They still have their Christmas debt. He can talk about all kinds of stuff, not just retirement planning, but also just keeping your finances in order day to day. WealthCharterRetirement.com.
He would prefer to talk football if you're picking an option.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but he does his job too.
Yes.
Yeah. We're still adding to the Christmas decoration arsenal here at the Fales household. Also out there making its yearly debut is the Christmas train. And here it is. It's not in action because my dad, I think he wanted a train set as a kid and he didn't get one. So he gave our kids a train set when they were infants. Absolutely no chance that they could play it or play with it or enjoy it when he gave it to them, but he wanted to give it to them anyway. And so we have this Christmas train. I'll also stipulate that it doesn't work that great. If you go over to Hobby Haven in Urbandale, which is a really fun shop, not a sponsor of the show, they will tell you the first thing while troubleshooting an electric train set is the guy will be like, well, are you running it on a carpet? Yeah, it's on the carpet. Well, that's your problem. They tell you not to put it on the carpet because it's too hard to keep the tracks together. The carpet flexes and gives. Supposed to put it on a hard surface. Why don't I have a hard surface? We've only got carpet under the tree, so each year have to kind of go out there and struggle to keep the tracks together, but we finally get them together, and then the Christmas train goes round and around, and it makes me happy. I imagine my dad looking down, thinking, "Yes, the Christmas train. They got it going."
Christmas train.
Andrew, you got a Christmas train, right? Don't you have a Christmas train, Andrew?
Andrew's got the Polar Express.
Yeah, we have the Hogwarts Express. Yeah, the Harry Potter.
But you got a hardwood floor, so
we have a hardwood floor. But even then, man, those connections, like, they're so, and over the years they get a little loose, and like troubleshooting that is so difficult because it's like, well, it was working a minute ago, now it's not, and it's just this little part of the track kind of came undone a little bit. But we got the Hogwarts Express up and running.
Now both of you guys are blurry, and I'm not, and that's making me wonder if this is me and not you guys. Although I'm doing the speed test here, and I got a really good,
I think
strong
Murph
connection.
is a little blurry.
Yeah,
Andrew,
I'm
blurry also?
A little bit. Yeah, you are a little bit. Murph is blurry. Yep.
Sharp as a tack here in my own monitor, but going out to you, it's blurry?
Yeah, based on the comments, is Murph at Mr. Movie's house?
You want me to go back out and come in?
Yeah, why don't you try that? The engineers in our life would all tell you that solves everything. Turn it off, turn it back on again. Yeah. Let's see if this works.
Am I blurry still?
Nope. You look good. Maybe it was just Murph pulling you down too.
I was gonna say my speed test looks
yeah. I got a really good speed test here right now. I was having trouble, earlier, so now I'm always a little paranoid that it's me.
I know, you never know, and this is a new world. We're more than a year into this, but still.
Yeah, and you were talking about the electric train set and how what a great world that was. When you were troubleshooting with an electric train, it was like, is the electricity connected? Is the electrical circuit all the way connected? There, look at how clear Murph is now.
Oh, yeah.
There you do. Turn it off, turn it back on, works again.
That worked?
So far.
Yeah.
All right, let's roll with that.
Yeah.
All right, can I go to my high now?
Yeah, please.
Also from the discovered tote, my parents' VHS tote, it's my dad's favorite interview. And my dad loved Dan Marino. So when I got to interview Dan Marino, my father thought that was the coolest thing. And he's also, Dan Marino, he was my favorite quarterback to watch of all time. I just love to watch him pass the football. And I just watched that Bears Super Bowl Shuffle documentary, which is only like 40 minutes long on HBO. And there were some details there that maybe I knew at one time that I had forgotten. But among them after the Dolphins beat them by a couple of touchdowns on Monday Night Football, on maybe my favorite NFL regular season game of all time, just watching that, the Bears undefeated and the Dolphins trying to protect that 72 perfect season, and Duper and Clayton and Marino's on fire. It was so much fun, so much electricity. But the Bears flew back to Chicago and were shooting the Super Bowl Shuffle video the next morning after losing to the Dolphins. So Jim McMahon and Walter Payton don't show up, which if I knew this, I had forgotten this. So they are, and this is pretty good technology for 1985, they are superimposed by green screen into that video. And it's why whenever you see a wide shot, and now you won't forget it, you never see McMahon or Payton back there shuffling because they weren't there.
Yeah, I remember that year. I remember that year well. Those were the years where it was like the NFL and there was nothing else. The NFL and the NHL, and that was it in my life. It was a shallow time. But yeah, that team was, and the audacity of doing that video didn't really hit me until I was much older. But what a gamble that was.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, that was a great team. There's no doubt. But I mean, to just
one of the best of all time.
Yeah, one of the best of all time. To just lay it all on the table though and say, all right, we're all in on this. We're going to win. We're going to make a video.
The Patriots also did a video after a response to the Bears. It wasn't the players, but it was a Patriots video. I never knew that. Neither did any of the Bears players like Willie Galt, Mike Singletary, Jim McMahon. They're all in this documentary talking about that whole process. I didn't know about this Patriots video. It's awful. And the documentary also makes a point that since then, several, I think it says several, but more than 3 teams have done a video mid-season, and none of them have gone on to win the Super Bowl. So there is a lot of talk about that target that comes on their back, but they recorded the vocals a couple of weeks prior when they're just rolling, and McMahon said he didn't even know it was a video. He thought the whole thing was just going to be, to help feed the hungry, and it was for charity, and he didn't know there was supposed to be a video. So after they lose the Dolphins, he and Peyton just refused to show up because they thought that was the wrong thing to do after losing. But they do end up in the video, and that thing became a phenomenon. Mm-hmm. Really did. You couldn't avoid the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
shuffle.
They had all the characters from the coach all the way down to the players. All the way down to the fans, really, past the players into the fans themselves. It had everything going. And that was at a time where, as I recall, the Raiders beat the Redskins in 83, I think 83, and then the AFC didn't sniff a Super Bowl title for like well over a decade. I mean, they just got plowed by all of those incredible NFC teams. The Niners, the Bears in the one year, the Giants, and then the Cowboys took over. I mean, it was just one year after another, and many of those Super Bowls were terrible games. Absolutely, including the 86 Super Bowl, 85 season with the Bears. I mean, that was a horrible game.
Oh, Patriots scored first, but after that,
it just was run over.
All Bears. Yeah, that felt like the most lopsided Super Bowl at the time. I know by score.
It was at the time, yeah. And then the Niners, I think when they beat up on the Broncos in 90, that overtook it. I think that's my memory.
We've mentioned this before that some younger people don't realize that the Super Bowls kind of had a reputation for a long time about just being bad games because they were so often one-sided. When you got a rare Bengals 49ers 82, whatever that was, when you got a close game, you're like, oh, this is great because they usually were one-sided. But we've had a run here for a while where most of these games have been up for grabs in the fourth quarter. So that's been better, much better. Even if I had an overtime gain now. All right. Let's get the buzz.
The Buzz. Brought to you by Logier Heating and Cooling.
All right, so Cyclone country calms down. Andy, we've talked about this for so many years. We've been doing Sound Off together or the radio show or this podcast. And it's just like in the moment, try to let the emotions calm down a little bit. Try not to post when you're upset or you're emotional. Give it some time. Things that feel like the sky is falling 24 hours, 48 hours later, it'll feel a little bit different. Just give it a little bit of time. And I think Cyclone fans, players, coaches, even administrators, they're all reaching that point because Matt Campbell, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, there were a lot of people in their feelings about that, understandably, but there was a lot of anger, and there were a lot of posts that were put out there from people that have either deleted them or would like to reel them back in. Just give it a little bit of time until you get more information.
And wait until you hear from them, right? I mean, give them a chance to say something, right? No matter who you're upset with, give yourself a chance. It is hard, right? Because I mean, it's just your knee-jerk reaction. We all have emotions.
We've all done it.
But before you go too far with what you're saying or posting or even feeling, listen to what they have to say, which is a really good lesson, really all the time, but especially in these situations where it just really seems like there's a bad guy. Okay, you can understand that Matt Campbell left for this higher paying job, but he should have said something to the players. He shouldn't have left like this. He didn't say anything to anybody. And then you hear from him, and he kind of fills in all the blanks, and then you see that he is emotional about it and is very, very thankful. And then, suddenly you're like, oh, okay. I guess it's okay then. And then you kind of wish that you had not gone quite so far. But, I mean, it's why it's so important for, if it's a PR firm or just a media relations department, it's so important to get someone out there, a human being out there to speak, right? And not just hide.
Always. Not
just be quiet, not just, ignore it, wait for it to go away. It's just, I mean, I know that I'm sure there are some occasions where you have to kind of let the dust settle and just chill out. But, for the most part, it just always seems like it's the best policy to get somebody out there to say something.
It still feels to me like there ought to be a way for Matt Campbell or someone in Matt Campbell's situation to say something publicly, especially after we get the Friday night confirmation that he's the Penn State head coach. So it's no longer up in the air. I think we all get the Thursday night, Friday day where he really can't say anything to the players or the fans because a deal's not done, the agreement's not in place. You have to be careful with all of that. We get that. But I heard from a lot of Cyclone fans Saturday and Sunday that were so disappointed that they had not heard anything from Matt in all that time. And there's probably a logical reason why this can't be done because the whole situation, the whole timeline of it just sucks. I mean, you had signing day just last week. You're up there talking about signing day, and then a couple of days later, you're negotiating with another program. And then you find out immediately he is going to take that job. And then you already know who your head coach is 3 minutes later. It's a lot to process. And you just like to hear from this guy as a fan that these fans held in such high esteem. They want to hear him say something. And then at the press conference yesterday, he gets all emotional right off the bat, talking about Iowa State, has to hold back tears. Okay, Cyclone fans feel a little bit better. They're glad to see that, to know that, he really does care. And then today, Matt Campbell takes out a full-page ad in the Des Moines Register, and it's got everything you would want. It twice praises and thanks Jamie Pollard, thanks both of the presidents he worked for, Leith, who brought him in, Winterstein, who was there as he exited, makes a point to thank Dan McCarney specifically. He thanks past and present Cyclone players, even future players, recruits. I mean, it hits all the right notes. It does feel longer than what you wanted as a fan. You didn't want to wait this long, but this is what everyone wanted. It was a first-class move to do this. And I think everyone feels better. And I should know too, Andy, he completely endorsed the new coach, Jimmy Rogers.
Yeah, I mean, he touched all the bases, I think, and
he did.
And you know that. I think he was always going to do that. He just was. He was in the middle of the whirlwind. I mean, you think it was a whirlwind for Cyclone fans? I mean, it was a bigger whirlwind for the people who were involved.
And the way I understand it, he wasn't officially like approved by whatever board, if it's the Board of Regents or whatever governing body there is at Penn State, until they had a meeting at 10 a.m. on Monday, like an hour before the press conference. Obviously, it was a foregone conclusion. They were about to introduce him. But I wonder if that had something to do with it. There was like an official designation that had not been reached yet.
Penn State has that process where they have to have 2 days after decision for a meeting to be held. They have to announce the meeting, have the meeting, and move on with it.
Matt Campbell's going to respect the process.
yeah, he is. And I think the overall message here, and we were talking about this amongst ourselves, among Iowa Everywhere people, and I was even using this as a reminder to our kids that, hey, don't post with anger or emotion. Exercise restraint until a little bit of time has passed, because the internet is forever. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can go on there and take something down, but these days somebody screenshot it and it'll keep getting put up or passed around. So you just have to be careful. And I think you more than anybody I know, Andy, you're always saying to me sometimes, like, yeah, just give this a little time. It's going to feel different in a couple of days. Just wait till Friday. You'll feel differently than you do on Wednesday. And you're right. And we all need that message sometimes, because that even with a win over the number one team in America at their arena by 23 points, Saturday, you could feel some of the anger coming out of many Cyclone fans, and I heard from so many of them.
Yeah, and a lot of it was because things were out of order, right? I mean, there's a progression to our grief, as we all know the stages, and
right.
So it was like we didn't really even have our minds around Matt Campbell leaving, and hadn't even really started to talk about the possible candidates to replace him when we were leapfrogged right into an all-new coach who was already here. He was already getting off the plane in Ames. And so it's like it makes you fast forward to, okay, who is this guy? Why right. Was he hired? Was he hired already? What was going on?
You're asking us to jump to acceptance pretty quickly here.
Yeah, and you're kind of and then Matt Campbell is in Pennsylvania, so you got to go back to those emotions, and you see him with these new fans, and then you're having all the feels about that, and then you got basketball, and then you got to go back to the Matt Campbell thing. It's just like it didn't follow the natural order of things, so it was just a little difficult. So we, this week we've kind of just needed things to kind of settle down, and then we can all kind of move forward once it's fallen into the correct place, or we picked it up and put it in the right place. But, look, it's life. This is stuff that doesn't follow a progression. And I think, honestly, that the worst position that a school can be in is to be caught unprepared, for something like this. Mm-hmm. And I think there was probably something that had happened to Jamie Pollard a while back that led him to just like a firm decision that was not ever going to happen to him, or never going to happen to him again, or it was just never going to happen to him, period. That like, okay, I'm not going to be unprepared for this situation. I'm at Iowa State. I know where I am. I know what can happen to really good coaches here. So I am going to have my list, and I'm going to be prepared. And even though I got a guy that I want to keep forever, if somebody wants to talk to me about wanting to be the next, Cyclone football coach, I'm going to talk to him, right? I mean, I'm not going to, plan to push Matt Campbell out, but I'm going to file that away. I'm going to, tell the guy what he needs to know. And, so that's a good position because, man, Penn State, God, those fans, they're probably still not over it. I mean, I think they're ultimately going to be very happy with Matt Campbell, but I'm certain that there's a big contingent of that fan base that wanted more than him.
And it also allowed Matt Campbell to have all the leverage in the negotiation Thursday night and Friday, because Penn State could not be publicly embarrassed one more time by a coach saying no. So they had to have Matt Campbell, and my goodness, have you looked at that contract? I mean, you can see the leverage in the contract. And all of this stuff we're talking about, how it doesn't make sense and the timing seems off. And yes, if I were Jamie Pollard, even if I had my guy and I was excited about the new guy, I would have waited a little while longer to make the announcement, just to let fans process the exit of Campbell first. But all of that said, Jamie Pollard says all of this stuff that winds people up so much stems basically from one main thing.
Contracts are meaningless, right? Contracts are meaningless. The only thing a coach's contract does is spells out what you have to pay them if they fail. All the other pages that say all the wonderful things we're going to pay them if they're successful only matters if somebody else doesn't want to pay them more. So what we just did to Washington State is sad. It's sad, right? And that, quite frankly, was one of the things I wondered about. Like, can I, Jamie Pollard, ethically call him right now? Because I know he's probably going to take the job, but that means he's leaving that team after 1 year, right? But I didn't make the rules. I just got to live by them.
Boy, you have to pay them if they fail. There's so much in that transparent soundbite, and I don't know. Can you disagree with any of that?
That's exactly what needs to be said, and there are very few ADs in America that are in a position to say something like that and just have the personality to say something like that. And I appreciate that. I mean, it is the cold, hard truth of the situation that we have created. We did it. Our, everlasting, unquenchable lust for wins, for the to land the big fish. That's why we're in this situation. It's because of the demand that we have. But for somebody to be able to just flat out admit that this sucks, right? I mean, this system sucks. It's not the way it's supposed to work. It's not fair to the people footing the bill. But the problem is the people footing the bill, they throw their money around like they're in a strip joint all the time, and we do.
It's the one AD that would say that and say that with such conviction, and at a time where so many people are paying attention. And Jamie Pollard is somewhat of a polarizing figure, even amongst the fans. And many of the things that fans love about him, those are also his candor, his transparency. Sometimes people have a problem with that. I know this became a flashpoint over the weekend. I don't know enough about Matt Campbell and Jamie Pollard's relationship to say one way or the other. What I can say is I saw Pollard say all these glowing, affectionate things about Matt Campbell. And then I saw Campbell in his letter today and had his press conference go out of his way to thank Pollard more than once, and so on and so forth. Beyond that, what I do feel confident in telling you is Matt Campbell was not turning that Penn State job down under any circumstances. Pollard couldn't turn him around with a different offer or more money or promises of more NIL or anything. Matt Campbell's going to get 3 times the NIL at Penn State to pay players. 3 times. His salary is doubled at least. The money is guaranteed, and he's got this crazy rollover. They go to the college football playoff. He gets another year and more millions. They win the championship. He gets 2 more years and more millions. It is one of the sweetest deals I've ever seen. It's near where he grew up. It's near family. It's where he wants to be. There was no chance Pollard could turn this around.
None of that matters. That's in his contract. I mean, think about it. He gets 2 more years if he wins the national championship. So what? He'd get that anyway.
But
he could get 5 more years if he wants. Well,
but he'll get that money.
Yeah, right. But you know that he's going to get that anyway. You win the national championship, all a coach has to say is, maybe it's time for me to leave. And then the fan base is
thinking
like,
about the NFL.
Oh, man, give that guy 10 more years, give him $100 million buyout. I mean, they will give him anything he wants. None of that stuff. I mean, all that kind of, you get all that stuff anyway, whether it's in your contract or not. I mean, you can. That's how crazy this is. The contracts truly don't matter.
They don't. Troy Aikman says he's done with NIL. He paid a freshman player at UCLA, gave him some money, some NIL, name, image, likeness.
He gave to the collective, whatever.
Gave the player directly some money. It's clearly Oregon quarterback Dante Moore. But Aikman says he transferred after 1 year. He left. And Aikman said, never got a thank you, never heard from him in any way, shape, or form, despite this, I would imagine, significant amount of money that Aikman gave him. So Aikman says he's done with NIL. And eventually he'll have company if he doesn't already. And that's one way we maybe get back to some sanity at some point. It's just not anywhere near happening, as this new Matt Campbell deal shows.
No, I mean, we control the purse strings. We do. I mean, that's the one benefit that the fans have of this whole thing. I mean, the fans are footing the bill, but if they want, they can stop footing the bill. They can say, no, we're not doing this, and then demand goes away, right?
But 19 million people watched Indiana, Ohio State this past weekend, despite there not really being any significant stakes other than the Big Ten championship, which sounds silly to say that, but that's not what the fans really want anymore.
No, I mean, they want to watch football. They want to watch sports. And then, you go to the next level and they want to watch their team. And then the next level, they want to watch their team win, and then it just kind of keeps elevating. But look, I mean, like our demand, our interest in sports is not going anywhere. But I mean, the problem is that it's now like, we have to fund it. We have to pay for this. And what are we getting for our money? I mean, I guess a winning team, maybe. Other than that, you have no guarantees. And I totally understand Troy Aikman. And, we've talked about this since its inception. Yep. I mean, this is ridiculous. There are no guardrails. There's nobody saying that the player needs to do this, and this for this money.
There's no accountability.
No, there's no accountability. If the player wants, he can just be
no return checks.
Yeah, right. I mean, a school sets up parameters for, here's what you got to do to get your NIL money. Those players don't have to follow that. They don't.
Yeah, there are no refunds.
Nope.
Andy,
they don't.
Have a look at your screen and tell me, what is this? I had a friend send me this. What is this?
It's a sad situation. They're out of bowls, and he's still hungry. There's no clean bowls.
What is this?
It's ruining cereal by putting gross milk on it.
Yeah, you knew you were going to.
No,
he's not going to get the right answer out of him.
This picture represents Cyclone fans. No bowl. It's kind of mean, isn't it?
A little mean.
Yeah, no bowl. And those players, by the way, you think they're returning some of their NIL money? The ones who voted to not finish the season, not play in a bowl game? Think the December check or whatever they get, the stipend, you think that's being sent back and then delivered back to all those hardworking fans who made that happen? Nope.
It is kind of ironic, though. I mean, there are years where it seems like teams should turn down the bowl offer, right? I mean, it was not a good year. Fans are disappointed. It's a shitty bowl that they get a bid to. It's in some crappy location. And it's just like, or maybe it's like if they're going to the Liberty Bowl again, to Memphis. Cyclone fans want to go to Memphis again.
No, they
in the
did not
winter.
Want to go there again.
No, you don't want to go to. I mean, but this team. I think people, for the most part, I think everybody wanted to see another game out of this team. I mean, I did.
They won 3 in a row.
Yeah, I mean,
they didn't get to say goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely watch if even if it was in Memphis. But the ironic thing is there are years where it seems like you could skip a bowl game and the fans would be fine with it. But this wasn't one of those years.
Cyhawk women's basketball game is tonight. It's number 11 Iowa at number 10 Iowa State. Both teams are undefeated. The Hawkeyes have dominated the past decade in this series, 8 of 10 for Iowa, including 3 straight. Iowa State has dominated this year's Cyhawk series so far, won the football game, won the wrestling. Here's Jan Jensen and Bill Fenley on tonight's game.
It'd be nice to just have a really good game that doesn't get lost, right, in all the hype of it. But that's the beauty of these games, right? The rivalry games, even as early as football plays it, right? A lot has played out on both sides of that rivalry by the end of the year.
You know, when you're in a state that doesn't have major league sports, you know, Iowa State and Iowa take up most of the oxygen. And if you're a fan, and certainly this is the kind of game that fans get, even if you're a casual fan, your energy and your enthusiasm for these kind of games gets elevated.
Sure does. This has a lot of anticipation tonight. We get the men's game tomorrow night. This game tonight is at 6 p.m. I'm ready to watch these two. And what a week for Cyclone fans. The men's win at Purdue, lost a football coach, new one in. Now the Cyhawk basketball games with 2 undefeated top 10 teams.
Yeah, and it's just it's cool to have an atmosphere like this at this point of the season for women's basketball. The Iowa players are very used to full arenas. I mean, they get one at home all the time. But to have it on the road at this point, will be it'll just be a really good atmosphere and a good experience for them. And it's nice to be able to just consistently say, yeah, we don't have any major league sports here, but when we do have a significant sporting event, a good matchup like this, a couple of really good ranked teams and really good programs, we show up for it, right? And we make a big deal out of it, and fans are into it. It's nice the weather has cooperated a little bit. Doesn't seem like that'll play a factor if you don't get blown off the road. Man, we had some hellacious wind last night. God.
It is windy.
No, so I mean, this is interesting. Boy, the Cyclones really need to win this game.
Let's get a quickie poll from WCI Pools and Spas in Ames and Urbandale. Cyclones favored in both games.
What happens in the Cyhawk basketball doubleheader? Iowa wins both. Iowa State wins both. Iowa wins the women's game and loses the men's game, or Iowa State wins the women's game and loses the men's game.
I'm with the majority here. I think Iowa State's going to win both.
Yeah, I do too. I think this women's game tonight could be close. Come down to the final minutes. They should win both of these games. I mean, they're at home and they have teams that seem like they're more talented right now. But I don't know. I mean, Iowa has become a consistent great women's basketball program. They have.
They've got some talent, new talent and veteran talent on that team, and they have someone in the middle in Ava Hayden who can at least make Audie Crooks work hard for her 30 points.
Yeah, my black and gold glasses will allow me to say the Iowa women will find a way to win tonight, even though I would not be surprised if Iowa State wins. I can't see an upset in that men's game. I'm clutching for that one. I'm a little worried about that. I think that could get out of hand pretty easily.
Does AD have the potato cam now? Is that what you're getting from him, Andy?
He definitely does. Yeah, definitely.
Man,
he's had it for a while. But I don't think.
Is it the cold? Is it the wind?
We can't let him log off and log back on.
Yeah, that's the problem.
We'll all be screwed by that.
Fine.
Andy, you and I were talking last night during the WHO 13 newscast that the Iowa State women have been a little bit like Nebraska football against Iowa in that they have had many of these games in the fourth quarter. It has seemed like the Cyclones had it and they just didn't finish, and Iowa made a bunch of plays to kind of leave Iowa State stunned. So that's part of the motivation here for Bill Fenley and crew tonight.
Yeah, right. It seems like Iowa has had kind of a mojo hex on Iowa State, where they may not. Iowa State may have more pieces. They certainly didn't with one of the, some of those Caitlin Clark teams. That, ironically, Iowa State won one of those games.
Right.
But it just also kind of seems like Iowa in this game has been more relaxed for the whole game. They've just played looser. Like they didn't have the pressure on them. And I think that's probably another risk tonight, right? Even though it's at home, even though Iowa State clearly looks like a more talented team right now, and Audie Crooks is just playing lights out. It seems like it's kind of Iowa State's game to lose. Not feel like any coach wants to be in that position. You want to feel like, you got to get out there and work for it. And you're going to be, really plugged in and not taking anything for granted. But I don't know. I mean, Audie Crooks she's had some good games this year against some pretty good teams. So it just seems like maybe this is the year that she's figured out enough. Iowa State has figured out enough about getting her the ball consistently. And Iowa isn't going to be able to counter that.
She scored 47 against Indiana. Notre Dame's AD is upset. Pete Bavacqua calls out the ACC for campaigning for Miami for the college football playoff. And then Big 12 Commissioner Brent Yormark called out Bavacqua.
I will say this, and I'm a little outspoken about it. I don't like how Notre Dame's reacted to it.
So
okay, I think Pete's his behavior has been egregious. It's been egregious going after Jim Phillips when they saved Notre Dame during COVID. We all knew, and it was very transparent. Hunter was very transparent about it. The chair, that as Notre Dame and Miami got closer together, head-to-head would be a factor. Okay, BYU lost. They became closer together. Head-to-head made a difference in that decision. So I think he is totally out of bounds in his approach, and if he was in the room, I'd tell him the same thing.
Wow. You don't usually see these executives, these suits at this level, calling each other out like that. So that was kind of surprising. And like so many things we've talked about in the past week, Andy, more than two things can be true here. More than one thing can be true here. At least two things are true. Notre Dame has a point. They were in front of Miami for 5 straight weeks, and then suddenly they're below Miami. So they have every right to be upset. ACC has every right to campaign harder for Miami than Notre Dame because Notre Dame doesn't play an ACC football schedule. Their loyalty is to Miami, not to Notre Dame, even though they are in the ACC in other sports. And then finally, Clark Lee, the Vanderbilt coach, he shows what Notre Dame could use a little bit of here. He says, yeah, we're in the ReliaQuest Bowl against Iowa and not the playoff because we lost 2 games. We're 10-2. We had the opportunity to win those games. We didn't win them. So we're happy to be here and we'll do the best we can. And I think there's something to be said for that. Notre Dame lost the 2, they were close losses, but they lost their 2 biggest games of the season by far.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they have an argument, but I don't care to hear it. I mean, it's
you don't want to hear from Notre Dame.
No. I mean, they're among the least sympathetic programs in all of sports. Seriously. Yes. They okay, guys. Oh, you didn't get it this year? Man, I'm sorry. We'll see you next year. I mean, it's Notre Dame. They have a bottomless pit of money. They have all the fame. They've had all the opportunities. You get shut out. Somebody's going to get shut out this year.
Yep.
Just because you're Notre Dame doesn't mean that it should never be you.
And you're not shut out like Florida State was. You're not 13-0 and shut out.
They lost to the 2 playoff teams they played this year.
Yeah, the rest of their schedule is soft because they're not in a conference.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
Get
in line with all the other good football programs in the past that somehow didn't get a seat at the table. I mean, the table, you don't just wake up with a seat at the table. You have to earn it, and then sometimes it's not big enough for you. And it's just the way it is.
Do you know anyone who would pick Tulane or James Madison against Notre Dame?
No, but I think it makes it more interesting.
You want the underdogs in there, you get the underdogs in there. But Notre Dame usually benefits from this kind of thing. And just a sign that the benefits will be coming back in soon. Beginning next year, if Notre Dame is in the top 12, as long as the college football playoff doesn't expand, if Notre Dame is in the top 12, they're now in automatically. Well, every team would like to have that, but no other team is going to have that. I don't even know why anyone would agree to that.
Why did they get that?
It's beginning next year.
Look, you don't give us this. We'll go play our football somewhere else.
Yeah, we'll go to Europe.
We'll go to Australia.
Heisman Trophy finalists, Mendoza, Pavia, Sayin, and Love. We're not supposed to say who we voted for here. My three are in these four. I'll say that. Mendoza's going to win, but looking forward to seeing. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing Pavia against Iowa. The Campbell Trophy Award winner, the Scholar Athlete of the Year, Aaron Graves was up for that, and Jackson Waring, the quarterback at Grandview, were both up for that. But Vanderbilt's tight end won that award. So of the bowl games, that's a pretty interesting one. Iowa, Vanderbilt, 11 a.m., New Year's Eve. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it does. It does. And it seems like it's been enough time for Hawkeye fans to kind of get up the interest to go back to Tampa again for the umpteenth time. What I mean, how about Indiana though? What if they win the national title, they win the Heisman Trophy, and they keep their coach that all the big programs figured they could just pluck right out of there? I mean, what Indiana? What if
anything, it's underrated. It's such an incredible story. A reminder: we'll be at the Des Moines Athletic Club live Friday at 1 p.m. You might want to get there early if you're coming by. It is a cozy, nice bar with a cool vibe. I think you'll like it there.
And so they don't normally open until 4:00.
You got that kind of pull?
We got a key. Yeah, we snaked a key from him from Nick Tillinghast, and
good job.
No, so but I mean honestly, we are. It will be open. It'll be fully open for business when we're there at 1:00. Would love to have everybody come down. You just want to check this place out.
The doors will open, Andy, because people don't want to show up right at 1. Do you know if they're?
I mean, Andrew will be there setting up a little early, so and he'll have a bartender there. So I would guess you're safe coming at noon, right, Andrew? Wouldn't you say that's around the time you get there?
Yep.
I'll text Nick to let him know that I already.
You committed at noon.
Yeah, committed.
Grandpa Phillip Rivers is on the Colts practice squad after 5 years out of the NFL. Now, he's not on the roster yet. I think he will be. I'm not sure how he looked in practice, but if he plays, he'd be the second grandpa quarterback in NFL history. Who is the first?
Whoa. One of his kids has a kid?
Correct. He has 10 kids.
I was just going to say, I know he has 10 kids, but his oldest kid is having kids?
I don't know if it's the oldest kid, but he is a grandpa. Yeah. One of his daughters has had a kid.
Oh, my God. I was just going to say, I mean, this guy is going to be called grandpa more than anybody else.
Yeah.
He's going to be, there's no chance in hell he's going to be able to keep up with all of his grandkids. He won't remember their names.
Oh.
I know that. But he is a grandfather. The first grandfather was George Blanda.
No, that's a good guess. George Blanda played until he was 48.
Y.A. Tittle.
Tom Brady played until he was 45. The first grandpa, this will be bad news for AD, Brett Favre.
Oh, yeah. Didn't he have a kid like in high school or something?
His daughter was 21. She had a kid. So Brett was was he a grandpa with the Vikings? Yeah, with the Vikings, he was a grandpa. So this will be the second grandpa to play quarterback. Browns Bears Sunday weather forecast -20. Woo!
Jeez.
AD, if somebody gave you 50-yard line seats and transportation to the game, would you go?
Against the Browns, no.
That's in Cleveland?
No, that's in Chicago.
No, it's in Chicago.
Yeah, like doesn't
next week
matter.
against the Packers.
Yeah, you would have gone.
Yeah, I'd go to that. But against the Browns, it'd be fun to see Shador, but no, I'm good.
-20 wind chill is brutal.
That's I was going to say either one of those stadiums they're probably both going to be about the same temperature, and they're both right by the lake. I mean, jeez.
Grandview is going to play in 5-degree weather here at Williams Stadium in Des Moines. They've got the semifinals coming up Saturday. Confluence, official beer of Murph and Andy. Confluence Brewing, you know the motto, or you should. Taste, quality, craftsmanship.
And a really long menu list.
I always get such a kick out of talking to them about that. Yeah. All right, let's get some more before we get to Mr. Movie.
But wait, there's more. From Either Or Eatery and Patio.
Either or, a hop in place these days. It is in its tinsel form for the rest of this month and just barely into the new year as well. So if you haven't got a chance to take it all in, it's a very popular joint, but get in there a little early and get you some tinsel at Either Or, 6222 Grand Avenue in Des Moines. Did you guys see this yesterday? The Des Moines Monopoly game was released.
It's got a lot. Yeah, I couldn't miss it. It got a lot of attention.
Yeah, the Des Moines edition, and you see some of the places that will local places will take the spots of Park Place and Boardwalk, and the familiar Monopoly spaces. Monopoly, the most popular board game in the world. Which
I've played
I
a
heard
lot
that
of
it's
Monopoly.
like that's more popular than checkers or chess. That sounds like chess. I don't know. Monopoly is everybody's.
Maybe the most popular trademarked game.
That's probably true.
Yeah, that's probably true. But did the Waveland Tap make it?
It did not, and honestly, I was a little disappointed. I was hoping that some of the places would be
dive bars,
or just with a little more character. There are a lot of just the big places, that got it. The Botanical Garden, which fine, it's nice, but Hy-Vee is on there. Living History Farms has a square. The Food Bank of Iowa has a square. I thought that was kind of interesting. I mean, that's a really nice charity, but a bit of a tough look for Des Moines, right? I mean, the food bank. I mean, it's like, you put it. What are you saying about Des Moines when you have the food bank on there? We can't feed each other. I mean, it's sad.
Yeah. Well, it's good for the food bank. Some more recognition. I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, they do amazing work, and they've been really important this year. Now, the Moore team has also uncovered some unique details about some of these Des Moines squares.
Oh, good.
That I don't know that everybody else will be aware of. The Ruan Center is one of them, and the space on the board game is covered with rust. Waterworks Park has a square, and that square gets flooded at least once a year. Joseph's Jewelers has a space on the Monopoly board, but your advice: don't take your wife with you to that square. You'll end up spending at least $10,000. Paws and Pints has a square.
Ed Wilson basically lives there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a good place. On the square on the game, pets are welcome, but if your dog shits on the square, you have to clean it up. The Iowa State Fair is on the Monopoly board. Little known detail, though, if you want to build a house on that square, you have to first bribe the Iowa State Fair Board of Directors, then pay $50,000 for the space, $20,000 for tickets to get into the space, $100,000 for electricity, and for every dollar that you make on rent for that house, you'll have to pay the State Fair Board 50 cents.
That sounded like a cartel.
Sounds like the Iowa State Fair. Homemakers Furniture has a square. The stipulation is, the catch is, when you land on that spot, you're hounded by a steady stream of salespeople asking if they can help you, and they don't stop until you either buy something or you leave the square.
Oh.
So now you know a little bit more of the extra details to the Des Moines edition of Monopoly. On sale now, $39.99 at retailers, I think, all over Des Moines.
$40.
Yeah,
Monopoly
$40
has gone up a little bit.
It has.
Okay.
You can now actually spend the night in the charming Cleveland home where A Christmas Story was filmed. This is a bed and breakfast now.
I could see Mr. Movie making a road trip.
Yeah, it's in Cleveland. It's in the movie's set in northern Indiana, but this is in Cleveland. Guests get the run of the place, including a third-floor suite that sleeps 6. Comes with a full kitchen, living room, a leg lamp, and a BB gun. Everything you want there.
It was the movie actually filmed inside the house, or was it just exteriors? Do you
That's
know?
a good question. I guess I don't know the answer to that. I mean, some of it was inside the house because you could kind of see him going in the door and the window and the front window, but I don't know the answer to that. That's a good question. It is kind of a bummer when it's like, just used as a prop and they don't actually do anything.
Like all
else
the
with
people that go to Times Square for the Seinfeld deli.
Tom's Cafe.
They go inside and they're like,
where are the booths? It's totally different.
Cheers in Boston.
And now, Christmas Bollywood style.
Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop me. Rocking around the Christmas tree, let the Christmas spirit ring.
That's kind of catchy.
It's funny. I don't know anything about Bollywood, but and maybe I shouldn't even look it up. An 11-foot tall bronze statue of RoboCop has been erected in Detroit after nearly 15 years of planning, as well it should be. I mean, he brought justice to old Detroit.
Yeah, I mean,
in a pretty
shot
short
and killed
amount of
a lot
time.
of people, but they had it coming.
Went in there. That guy tried to take him out in the liquor store, and he just bent he just bent the gun in half. Remember that thing?
Oh, yeah.
Turned it straight down.
It's a pretty good likeness here too. A lot of statues are wrong, but I know. That looks like RoboCop.
They got I know. You can get RoboCop right. I mean, why can't they get everybody right? Nice statue there. I digress. Are you aware of the world's most famous turd?
No.
I wasn't either. It just jumped out at me.
That's it?
Yeah. It's got a name and everything. It's called the Lloyd's Bank coprolite. Apparently that's a technical term for petrified turd. It's a 12-year-old Viking turd found deep underground in London in 1972 when they were excavating a space to build the new Lloyd's Bank location. Scientists examined it under a microscope.
Find out what was eaten?
Yeah, it turns out the Viking was not in great shape. They found out way too much about this guy.
This is not a Minnesota Viking, just to be clear.
No, it was
actual Viking.
Yeah, it was, one of the Norwegians came over there and just, pillaged the place and then took a dump on it and thought he, really probably didn't realize just how significant that dump was, but he had worms, like tapeworms and stuff. They found those in under the microscope and stuff. Found out way too much about this guy and his diet. 1,200-year-old petrified turd. Somebody saved it, and they wanted more from it too. I mean, they really went to town with that turd.
Petrified turd.
Yeah, the town of Minowie, Nebraska. You heard of that place?
No.
I'm not surprised. It is a population of 1, and here she is. Elsie Eiler is her name.
She's the entire town?
She's it. She is
makes
the mayor.
The rules? She makes the rules.
She's the mayor. She's the librarian. And she's the bartender at this bar. She grants herself a liquor license.
Why wouldn't she?
And she pays taxes to herself.
Again, she's got a pretty good thing going here.
Yeah.
Looks like some out-of-towners in the shot.
I kind of want to watch this I kind of want to watch the YouTube. I think there have been a bunch of stories done on her, but yeah, apparently it was kind of a happening place there for a while, but then everybody either died or moved away, and she didn't. She just
So
stayed.
she dies, the town dies? That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I think so. There's only a couple of buildings there. What was the really little town that we went to on RVTV this year? It's escaping me. The one up there by Ballsack County. What was the name of that one, Murph? Come on, man.
I know. I'm not.
What was it?
Out here.
Yeah, they were really nice, really good, really. Just
Starts with an L.
Yeah. Lorville. Yeah, Lorville.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it makes Lorville look like New York. That thing is. Yeah,
Lorville has
phenomenal.
3 bars.
Yeah, and we went to them all.
We did.
Today's stupid criminal is a dude down in Oklahoma, 24-year-old Dylan Redfern. Police say he walked into Primo's Wine and Spirits on Friday, tried to buy something, was turned away for not having his ID. Comes back in a few minutes later to rob the place with an antique musket pistol.
Look at that thing.
Was he Miles Standish? Pointed it at the
Miles
workers.
Standish proud.
He demanded cash and their IDs. Which is like, man, all right, fine. I don't have my ID. Give me yours. I mean, he's got
Get out
one
the gunpowder.
I mean, he misses with that one shot. You got like 5 minutes to take him down before he can reload that thing. All right. The year is 1986. The Rent-A-Friend VHS was released for lonely people with VCRs. The 42-minute direct-to-video program featured a friendly man named Sam, played by an actor named Ben Hollis, who looked directly into the camera, asked the viewer questions, left space for answers, and offered compliments to create the illusion of companionship. It was sold through mail-order ads in the back of magazines and some video stores. It was priced around $19.95, and here it is.
I'm Sam, and basically I'm here because I want to be your friend. What's your name? Yeah. Tell me a little bit about you now. Like, where are you from? That's a nice part of the country. Any pets? I'm a cat person myself, yeah. Tell me about your parents. I bet they're really neat. You know, was your mother overprotective by any chance? I don't know. Is there guilt in your family at all by any chance?
What's he doing
I
here?
tell you, friendship is filled with surprises, and you just blew me away with that one.
Yeah, kind of some prying questions out of Rent-A-Friend Sam there.
That kind of makes me sad. I mean, there must have been at least some people that ordered this. Gosh, I need to give extra thanks and gratitude today. Wow. This is like remember Janae's hugging story?
Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah.
I feel like people in the 80s were definitely less pathetic than people now because they had to interact more. But it doesn't look like it, does it? I mean, when you see these stuff like this, and then the way they're dressed and how bad the video is, it does make it look like a tough. Is that a buy or cry, Murph?
That's a cry. It makes me want to cry on several levels.
Hopefully Sam was there for somebody. Finally,
Good luck,
a reminder of why we can't have nice things. I mean, technology gives us AI, and this is what we do with it.
Watch out! Come through!
That's so dumb.
Somebody
God.
worked hard on the.
It's like Harry Potter with diarrhea.
Oh, jeez. Harry Pooper. That's your more, everybody.
Harry Pooper. Speakpipe.com/Murph_Andy. Leave a rant there anytime. We'll play them Friday from the Des Moines Athletic Club. And it could be on something you just saw from that Moore segment. I think we would understand, but it's very easy to do. Speakpipe.com/Murph_Andy. You just tap the button, start talking. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Mike Woody, also known as Mr. Movie.
It's time to go to the movies with Mr. Movie, Mike Woody. Presented by P&P Small Engines.
Hey, Mr. Movie, what's going on over at P&P Small Engines?
Well, before we get to that, what do I have to sit through? Do you think anybody's watching this now?
Yeah.
Big audience right now.
You know, with huge diarrhea thing going.
Yeah.
And a petrified turd.
I know. We're ramping up to your appearance and your transformation into Santa Claus.
Yeah, it's going to be there by Christmas, I think, Mike.
By Christmas, he's going to be in a red suit.
This is the last time you'll see it. You know, the Fridley segments that I do?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is next December.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I like those segments. I enjoy those when I'm at the Palms. I'm always like, hey, I know him.
Yeah, but the thing is, next December, his beard will be completely white.
Yeah.
I think
he'll be an older Santa Claus.
Let's go ahead and put some baby powder on it before you shoot that, Mike.
All right, what's going on at P&P Small Engines here as we all right.
P&P.
Yes.
Jeff has like lost it. He's got these handheld power tools that are on sale now. And I'm telling you, they look kind of fun. But steel cordless pruner. So you don't have that cramp in your hand. I don't know.
It's like a little mini chainsaw.
Yeah,
That
pretty
sounds
much.
dangerous for
I
me.
could use that.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll go
you
visit
could.
Jeff.
Great
For the
place to do
holiday.
some Christmas shopping. P&P
Our-
Small Engine.
Out of the box topic this week is a favorite soundtrack from a movie. Now, there's a couple of different ways to go at this, and we all took our own approach. I know, like the first soundtrack I remember getting and playing over and over again, I think was Grease. I was in 7th grade and played that over and over again. And over the years, been so many sports movies. I buy the soundtrack, and they're full of Motown and 70s songs like Remember the Titans or We Are Marshall actually has a really good soundtrack and everything. But I went a different way with my choice and picked something that I ended up buying and playing a lot, even though it was full of music that I wouldn't ordinarily listen to or in some cases even be aware of, and it's Pulp Fiction. So even the instrumental there, which is the first song on the soundtrack, but you'll remember these, but the one like Son of a Preacher Man, Jungle Boogie, Let's Stay Together by the great Reverend Al Green, You Never Can Tell, which is a dance. And I was raised on Neil Diamond. It was my mother's favorite artist, the Jewish Elvis, Neil Diamond. But I wasn't even aware of Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon. I don't think I had ever even heard that, and it is in this movie. So for maybe a different reason than just the amount of times I played it, I picked Pulp Fiction because that was an eclectic, weird soundtrack, and it also fuels the entire movie.
Tarantino's good like that.
Yeah,
Jackie
really
Brown
good.
is one of those right where he pulls out a bunch of tracks that I wouldn't have thought of before, and then suddenly you're like, I couldn't live without him again. Mine is I'm going to go with I was just talking about this movie a few weeks ago. I have to go this direction again because I was my parents' Simon and Garfunkel Greatest Hits album was probably the first album that I was ever really into. And I would play it over and over again on their record player. And I love those songs, and I knew them all by heart. I really do. I like know how to play them and stuff. I mean, they're just they're amazing. And I'd never seen The Graduate, and I told you I didn't want to see The Graduate. It was like it's too old, and I was like, I'm not watch that old movie. And then somebody was just like, well, you realize that this Simon and Garfunkel all the greatest songs are like part of that soundtrack. It's like one of the great. It makes this movie great. Just the soundtrack. It's like, all right. I think that's why I ultimately just gave it a chance and watched it. And I ended up absolutely loving the movie. And it's crazy to think that I could ever think there could be a little kid, right? And I love that. And then I watched this movie in college and I'm like, oh, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's Mrs. Robinson. That's a neat twist. But just such an incredible soundtrack. It's so the music. Paul Simon is my favorite songwriter ever, and
he's brilliant.
It just goes with this movie so well. It just, and now I can't separate the two in my mind. These songs and The Graduate just are one and the same.
Mr. Movie?
I'm going to go, and Sue and I went to see a movie. Shocking. We'd never heard of it, had no idea what it was about. It was called Dirty Dancing. And this is what we did in the parking lot on the way to the car. But we immediately got in the car and we drove to, if you remember People's Music on Ingersoll, okay?
Yeah.
We immediately drove there and bought the CD, and we listen to it to this day. I mean, it's just, it's got
that soundtrack was everywhere. I mean, Patrick Swayze took a song to the top of the charts. She's like the wind.
Well, they needed a song, and they were looking for a song to use, and he went to his room and wrote it. Wow. Talent.
Well, it worked out. Yeah. I've heard all those songs too. AD?
Yeah, I'm going way out of the box here. I took this as a soundtrack that hit me at the right time and I listened to over and over again. American Pie 2 is far from a classic film, but it came out right before I went to college. I was 18 years old. The first movie was so influential on every high school kid. But it has just a bunch of pop punk classics like Fat Lip from Sum 41. And I mean, as you guys know, I had Green Day, I had Blink-182. As you guys know, back then, to get all these songs on one album was kind of the draw of it. I didn't have to buy six albums for each person's hit. I could just get this CD and listen to it over and over again.
And American Pie 1 has a great soundtrack.
It does.
Also. Yeah, you're right. Those two movies are loaded with good tunes.
Yeah, a lot of people mentioning like Top Gun, Forrest Gump. They both had huge soundtrack. Kenny
and there's like the
Loggins
soundtrack, and then there's the score. Like the soundtrack of Rocky or Dances with Wolves or Hoosiers or Star Wars. I mean, those
The Natural.
The Natural. I mean, I guess those are soundtracks, but they're instrumentals. So there's probably mostly John Williams. But I don't think of those, I guess, as a soundtrack. I think of songs, but they are. I mean, that's what they are.
Yeah.
Let's get to some reviews here. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 does win the box office, once again showing why so many horror movies are being made. They will get the young people into the theaters on opening weekend. But let's start with your review, Mr. Movie, of Eternity.
You know, this movie looks good. It's got a very good cast. And it's these people have all died and they go to a way station. You know, it's kind of like that Heaven Can Wait kind of place.
Purgatory type thing, yeah?
Yeah. A little nicer than Purgatory, but yeah.
Okay.
And Elizabeth Olsen has to decide between her husband of 60 years and some guy that she met once or twice and, you know, really didn't have anything going on, but they felt a connection.
So this is Rose and Jack in Titanic.
Kind of, yes. But it's just the longer it went, it's like they had this concept, but they didn't know where they wanted to go with it. And I just think that when you rent the DVD or buy the DVD, there's going to be alternate endings because it goes one way, then it goes this way, and I think ultimately it's good. It's very interesting. It's unique. I mean, I'm going to give it an A, probably closer to an A-, but it was clever, and the cast was great.
Okay, so recommendation with mild reservations from Mr. Movie. Ella McKay? No, I'm sorry, Hamnet. Hamnet you reviewed.
Hamnet. Does that sound familiar? Hamnet, like Hamlet?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. This is a true story about William Shakespeare, who lost a young son. And he spent the rest of his career in mourning about that. And, he's worked him into a couple of different plays that he wrote afterwards. But it's a very interesting movie in the fact that you see the process of his mourning and his wife's mourning and the rest of the family. It's not a upbeat film, but it's a very well-made movie. And this is the guy that was in the second Gladiator. So he went from that to Hamnet. So
Hamnet. So what's that, like a B plus?
It's a B plus. Yep.
Okay. Opening Silent Night, Deadly Night. I know you're a big fan. Are you getting like a group of people together? Like, are you going to have a bus full of people go to the opening night?
I've got people holding my spot in line right now. I mean, honestly.
How many of these have there been?
This is the second sequel to the 1984 slasher classic, but there's been 10 sequels.
10 sequels. Okay.
So
this one, expect more of the same.
Yeah. So
Ella McKay. What's Ella McKay?
Ella McKay is directed by a guy named James L. Brooks. Does that name sound familiar? Broadcast News.
Sure.
I don't know.
James Brooks. Yeah, he was a great running back with the Chargers back in the early 80s, right?
Yeah, right before he went into the acting.
Different
but
guy.
Terms of endearment, he's worked with Adam Sandler on Spanglish. So he's a great director and a very good writer. Interesting to see what happens here. It's got a great cast, as all of his movies do. And that's all. That's about all I know about it. I don't want to know a whole lot more than that going in. So.
I know I'm going to have to go by myself to this because no one else is going to want to see it. Well, I know Song Sung Blue, but it's a true story. I know this from my friend Mark Baden, who lives in Milwaukee, that this was a Milwaukee couple, was a Neil Diamond impersonator. I don't know who she's impersonating, but it's Hugh Jackman and Hudson.
Kate Hudson.
Kate Hudson. Yeah. So and there's some kind of accident that takes place and did in real life, and there's a whole story around this. And just because of the Neil Diamond factor and how much my mom played Neil Diamond, I'll go see this. But what are you hearing, or what do you think?
I think it's going to be really good. The buzz is good. So I just saw the Neil Diamond play at the Civic Center, and it was fabulous. So,
really?
Yeah. Oh, it was really good. The guy was a dead ringer, visually and audibly. So
that wasn't called Song Sung Blue, though, right? That had a different name.
It did have a different name. Yes.
All right.
But
all right, well, listen.
Noise.
Beautiful noise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Mr. Movie, I know you need to go because you have a busy December ahead of you with all the toys you have to deliver and all the countries you have to visit.
He's got to be out of Bass Pro Shops when school lets out.
Now, did you get the breaking news on my rundown there?
No.
Audie Crooks just got called into work at Fairway tonight. So it's going to help the Hawkeyes a lot.
Can't play.
It's a lock. Well, that would do it. That would do it. If she's not there, that would do it. All right. Thank you, Mike.
All right, guys. See you next week.
As Mr. Movie, presented by P&P Small Engines. Time now for Throwdowns.
Throwdowns. It's Throwdowns. Backed by Heartland Tire and Auto.
Heartland Tire and Auto brings us Throwdowns each and every show, treating you like family in Ankeny, Waukee, Knoxville, Boone, and Creston. Murph, Iowa, the men have an uphill battle tomorrow night in Hilton against number 4 Iowa State. What's a realistic expectation for the Hawkeyes tomorrow?
Well, it's a rivalry game, so I don't think we can completely predict what's going to happen. And Iowa does not have good matchups in this game, but this will also be a coaching battle because Ben McCullum's going to try to slow this tempo way down and have Bennett Sturts control the entire game. And if he has his A-plus game and he's able to control the tempo, Iowa can keep this within shot of pulling off the upset. But I think a more likely scenario is the deeper, more talented Cyclones force Iowa out of their game and win this by double digits.
I mean, I think it's a realistic expectation for Hawkeye fans to think that their team can scare the hell out of the Cyclones and their fans in this game. I mean, I think this team, this is not a normal new coach at a new school team. I mean, this is the same team. This is the same unit, basically, that he just brought them all over from Drake and just going to just play another game with these guys. Knows them all, knows how to coach them. This team knows how to play opponents like Iowa State. They'll play well. It's going to be a difficult game for Iowa State. So I think Iowa fans are right to expect a good game.
Andy, grade Matt Campbell's 10-year run as Iowa State's head football coach.
I mean, I think it's a good, solid A. He not only won more games than any Cyclone coach before him, he broke several glass ceilings in beating teams, beating the Hawkeyes on the road and at home, sending players to the NFL, not just sending players to the NFL, sending stars to the NFL, making NFL stars. You know, constantly he was talked about on national platforms for all that he had done at Iowa State. Iowa State got so much more respect, certainly coverage, than they ever had before. I mean, he really was a transcendental coach and brought that whole program with him.
I'll go A-. Iowa State didn't win a championship, did get onto the stage a couple of times, but couldn't quite finish. Did win a New Year's Six bowl game, but it was a little bit of an asterisk with not Iowa State's fault, but it was a COVID year, playing an Oregon team that didn't even win the Pac-12. Close to an A, but I'm going to go A-. Plus, didn't win the bowl game this year. Didn't even go.
All right, I grabbed this straight from the Happy Hour with Keith and Jenny Facebook page. When it comes to Christmas lights, Murph, are you a white lights or colored lights person?
Easily colored lights. No contest.
Easily B. Give me B all day long.
All day.
I like it.
All right. Speaking of happy hour, it has moved to Fridays live at 6:30. We have all kinds of Iowa Everywhere shows. What's coming up next? Buckets.
Yeah.
Buckets.
We are live at the Ames Buffalo Wild Wings tomorrow at 4 o'clock for a pregame show for the men's basketball game over at Hilton. Jake Brendan and I will be at the Buffalo Wild Wings in Ames. We'll recap tonight's women's game and preview the men's game and, maybe sneak a little Drake and you and I in there as well.
That'll be some high interest there. Now it is time for the Andrew Downs audio drop of the day. It's the AD Squared.
Yeah, powered by Game Day Men's. I'm just keeping myself off camera here because I don't know if I'm fuzzy or not. So I'm just going to let you guys look pretty in your blue shirts. Game Day Men's Health, Ankeny, West Des Moines. I'm going to get my tee shot before I go up to Ames tomorrow. I'll be all teed up for that bucket show. I'm excited about that. New Ole Miss coach Pete Golding. I don't know if you guys have seen much of this guy. He was the defensive coordinator, now the head coach, not interim head coach, elevated to head coach. He is nothing like Lane Kiffin, and he wants you to know it.
I mean, what was the immediate reaction for you
when
you got the news?
The immediate reaction was I got my ass up out of my seat, went straight out the door to try to recruit offensive staff not to get on an airplane. That was my immediate reaction. So I couldn't tell you the years, the money, and I still can't, right? Does that make sense, right? So it's like, hey, man, I got a lot invested in this, just like these players do at this point. All right, let's try to keep as much in the boat as we can and then go find some others to put in if we need it, right, to go make a run. So the room got a little bigger, but nothing else changed. I'm not changing who I am, right? I ain't changing what the hell I wear. I'm going to yoga. I'm playing pick. I ain't doing any of that shit. Like, I am who I am. All right, we're going to roll. We're going to do this thing the right way. I've done it a long time around a lot of good people, right, and we're going to give it our best shot and see what happens.
Won over a lot of fans.
Totally, I like that.
Yep.
Could he look less like Lane Kiffin?
Yeah, he ain't going to yoga. Quickie poll results presented by WCI Pools and Spas.
What happens in the Cyhawk basketball games? Iowa State wins both, running away with this 64%. 29% think it'll be the Hawkeyes winning the women's game, the Cyclones winning the men's game. 6% say Iowa wins both. Only 1% say the Cyclones win the women's game and lose the men's game.
Thank you for being part of Murph and Andy here on a busy Wednesday. Don't forget Buckets coming up tomorrow, and then Friday, 1 p.m. They'll open it up early, but we are live at the Des Moines Athletic Club in downtown Des Moines. It's a cool spot. You'll like the vibe there. I'm confident of that. Keep the good times rolling and easy by liking and subscribing. We're back Friday at the Des Moines Athletic Club. We hope you can join us.